Hey guys, it's Billy here. Welcome to the garage. Today is July the 23rd, which means we're 1 week away from the kickoff of BWOM Motorcycle 7. Today's episode is the part 3 of this packing series. And I'll be honest, I am extremely bored with this series. I don't like it. So in the description below, you'll see that I've included everything that I've listed in these 3 videos. So if you want, you can cut and paste, throw it into a Word document, print it out, and you have your own relatively comprehensive list of how to pack for a motorcycle trip. The best thing is you can avoid watching this video, which I find extremely boring. But if you want to stick with me, it's 14 minutes of me rambling on in my kitchen about stupid crap. By all means, I appreciate it, and I'll see you on the road. Now mind you, I want to make perfectly clear that this is a motorcycle trip, not a camping trip. So a lot of these things you might have for camping, I'm not going to be bringing. For example, a stove and fuel and stuff like that. We're not really going to be eating much at campsites, or maybe MREs and hot dogs on sticks. But most of the time, our campsite is just going to be simply chilling out and getting some rest. Let's go over this stuff. Okay, let's talk personal protection. First aid kit, you can get these anywhere. I got this one at a camping store, about $15, $20. Doesn't have any kind of crazy, can't do field surgery with it, but you can help with little minor cuts and bruises and stuff. It's got all kinds of stuff in here. But I would recommend a first aid kit, no matter what kind of motorcycle trip you're taking. It doesn't have to be, this crazy adventure thing, but just any kind of motorcycle trip. You want to carry one of these, first aid kit. Let's talk bug repellent. This is Ben's 100% Deet bug repellent. I would recommend 100% Deet if you're going out into the deeper woods. The mosquitoes in Canada and Alaska in the dead of summer are going to be crazy. So I wanted to get this. This is a little bit stronger than the stuff you would spray on your kids when they go to the lake or something, but the caution is it is 100% Deet, so you want to wash your hands after applying this because it will make you sick. If you do get bit by a bug, you want to go with something like this, a little bit of after bite. I don't know what this is. It's just some sort of mosquito itch relief, but I'm going to carry that with me as well. This is something I'm taking that you probably don't need. This is an epinephrine pen. Back during chasing the sun, I had an allergic reaction, went into anaphylactic shock, and really to this day we have no idea what I was allergic to, so my doc recommended that I carry one of these. So I carry a couple of these in my car, and I'll have a couple of these on the ride. The point I'm trying to make is during a motorcycle packing trip, you definitely want to put any kind of specialty meds that you may need for the ride. And ibuprofen is awesome. It's a godsend for just minor muscle aches and pains, and you can keep it and take a couple of these every gas stop, and it really helps with the overall soreness in your back and your ass and your neck. I've never taken these on a ride before. These are emergency road flares, and the reason I'm taking these is if we break down on the Dalton, I want to have the flare out there in case the haul trucks don't see us, because it is dusty and it can be we can kind of blend into the background. So I wanted to bring these, but I wouldn't recommend these on an average ride, but this one's kind of special, so emergency road flares. This is a SAM Splint. A lot of tactical military med guys will carry these, and it's basically this extremely flexible, pliable aluminum covered in this foam, and you can use this, you can bend it, you can tweak it in various different ways to make a really rigid splint. And I hope I don't have to use any of this kind of stuff, but if we do end up falling off the bike, breaking an ankle or breaking a wrist or something, this will be really, really handy to get us back into a position we can at least limp our bikes home. And then I'll be bringing this, which is just a gauze wrap that will actually wrap around the SAM Splint. So you probably don't need this on your average motorcycle ride. I just wanted to show it to you because we're taking it. And now we get into a little bit of road hygiene. I always try to bring a couple packs of wet naps. They're cheap, they're very portable, and they're really good for wiping your face off, wiping your hands off. If you have to go number 2 in the woods, they're handy for that as well. So they're easy peasy to carry, so why not? Bring in some hand sanitizer. You may have dirty hands and have to eat out in the middle of nowhere, so you want to keep your hands nice and antibacterial. Here we have an emergency bag. This thing has 2 purposes. Obviously, it's these little dudes all chilling at it, and this will help keep you warm if you're in a situation where we're going to be up there in the Arctic Circle, and it'll keep you from going hypothermic. It also, you could use this to treat for shock if you're cold. And one of the things I like about it is that it's this crazy reflective silver, so it's highly visible, especially in bright sunlight. So in case for whatever reason the Coast Guard has to come save our dumbasses, we can use this as a signal. Chapstick or Blistex or some sort of lip ointment, highly recommend this. Being out on the road for hours and hours does wreak havoc on your skin and lips, and you know, this thing's like 99 cents and it's relatively small, so bring it. Chapstick or Blistex. And here are a couple water bottles. I actually have 2 or 3 more that I'll be carrying fresh water up the Dalton with. And I can't stress enough to you that hydration is one of the most important parts of this kind of crazy adventure, because getting dehydrated and running out of water could really, really ruin your day. So I'll be bringing quite a few of these. They've got these little carabiners, and I can just kind of clip them to wherever I need to on the bike, and I'll have a small supply of potable, fresh, clean water. If we run into a situation where we actually have to get water out of, say, a creek or a pond or something, I've got these germicidal tablets. Dip a couple of these in, and it will kill most of the dangerous bacteria. I highly recommend, if you're in a survival situation, to boil the water versus using this stuff, or you can do both and you'll be almost guaranteed that the water will have any kind of critters out of it. And of course, the most fun part of any kind of camping trip is starting a fire. I'll be carrying a couple of these. These are your cheap, 99-cent convenience store cigarette lighters, and these will most definitely work in the field as a fire starter. But just in case I lose these, they run out of fuel, whatever, I'll be bringing more of a primitive, old school style flint and scrape type fire starter, as well as a box of tinder dust, and this will really ensure that I can get a fire started out in the middle of nowhere. On any kind of camping outdoor excursion, I cannot stress the value of a good knife. Now, the blade on my Gerber is pretty sharp, and it can be used in most any situation, but it's always handy to have something like this, just in case you got to kill somebody and eat them. But yeah, I definitely recommend bringing a good folding knife on these trips. This right here is called Parachute 550 cord. It's called 550 cord because each strand is supposedly rated to hold 550 pounds. You can pick this up at an Army surplus store. It's about 12 cents a linear foot. This is about 20 feet on each side here. And the uses for this are only limited by your imagination. You can use this to lanyard stuff to you, or lanyard stuff to your bike. You can use it to tie down your tent. You can use it to hang up your food away from animals. You can use it as a belt, an emergency, whatever. The cool thing about it is that it's a nylon-based cord, and if you take a lighter to it and you cut the ends off, it'll melt. And as long as your fingers aren't really dainty, you can actually mold it and it'll seal. So I recommend bringing this on any kind of camping trip, but we're bringing this just because I have some already. So 550 cord. For waterproofing, I always go with 3 things. These are just your standard Ziploc bags. They can be used in a pinch. They're relatively disposable, and they're inexpensive. You already have them in your kitchen. And there's a million things you can use these for. Anything from keeping your phone dry to holding bolts and stuff if you have to do maintenance. Then I always bring a couple large 13-gallon kitchen bags just in case we really get rained on, and I like to put my camera gear and stuff and give it a little bit of added protection inside something like this. And then for this particular trip, I picked up these Coleman waterproof pouches, and they are just a little bit more serious, a little bit tougher and thicker, and a little bit more usable than, say, these. And they're pretty cheap. I think I paid $5-6 for 3 pouches, and hopefully I won't need any of this stuff. Hopefully it will stay dry, but you never know, and so it's always a good idea to have plastics to keep you dry. I really looked into carrying a handgun across the Canadian border, and everything I read was like, no way. It is totally illegal. You cannot bring a handgun across the border. So for bear protection, I bought this. This is bear deterrent. It's basically like an overgrown mace. And one of my subscribers asked in the last video if I take the plastic, all of this stuff, it would save a lot of space. And yes, I do take the plastic off. I merely leave the plastic on just so people that are interested in this stuff, so they can see what it looks like when they see it at the store. Obviously, this is this crazy thick, super duper plastic, and if a bear were attacking, it would take you about 2 freaking days to get into this thing. So obviously I won't be carrying this in the plastic. Comes with a fancy holster, but we're not going to be hiking or anything. I just want it at the campsite just in case. So it's a bear spray. And it almost looks, if you look at it real close, it almost looks like a gag gift. But you read the back here, and it says that if you turn this on yourself accidentally and spray yourself in the eyes, it will cause irreversible eyeball damage. So hopefully we won't have to use this, but bear spray. This is the Eureka Solitaire. I paid probably $250 for this thing 5-6 years ago. You could pick one up for about $79, $80 now, and it's a one-man tent. Good things about it is it's very, very small. It's got a packed size of about 14 inches from side to side. So it'll fit into my dry bag. The bad thing is this thing is extremely, extremely difficult to put up, and I haven't done it in years. I've been going to practice a few times before I actually have to go out there and set it up after riding a motorcycle for 500 miles. Another bad thing is that you don't have any space. It's a one-man tent. There's no space for any of your equipment in the tent with you. So I may... we're 8 days out. I may call a Game Time Audible and go get a new tent that's just a little bit bigger and leave this Eureka Solitaire at home. I'm not sure yet. Here's my sleeping bag. It's a Slumberjack. I think it's a 30-degree mummy bag. I won't need anything. I've got a real good tolerance towards cold, so I won't need anything more extreme than that. And besides, I've got a lot of cold weather gear I can wear underneath it just in case. But that's the tent that's the damn tent. That's the sleeping bag I'll be taking. To be honest, I'm getting really bored with making this video, so instead of bringing it to me, I'll just put the camera over to it. I'm sorry. But that's my sleeping pad. It's a Thermarest sleeping pad. It's got like foam inside of it, and then you actually blow it up to make it bigger. It actually compresses a lot smaller than that. I just haven't done it yet, so that'll actually go strapped onto the back of my bike. Here we have my camping pillow. It's just a Kelty Go pillow. I just picked this up the other day at Target. It literally cost me $10. It seems pretty nice, I guess, but yeah, it's my camping pillow. And I also picked this thing up, which is just my camping enamel cup. I picked this thing for $5 at a camping store, and I like to make coffee. Unfortunately, it'll have to be instant coffee at the campsites because I'm not going to get a percolator or anything and carry that. Just some instant coffee, and this will be my cup for that. And then I'll have dry bags. These are XPS Performance dry bags. These are marine grade, and I mean marine by going out into a boat marine and not going into battle marine. But they're a nice rubberized nylon. I like these in particular because they have these little bitty attachment straps, and that makes it really easy to hook my MotoFizz bag into this. And both my tent and my sleeping bag fit inside of this. If I get the new tent later, it may not fit inside, so I'll actually have to put the poles into my MotoFizz and then put the fabric part of the tent inside here. So anyway, that's my mess of camping gear. I think that's everything I've got that I'll be taking on the trip. So enjoy the video. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, leave me a comment, and I will see you on the road.